So in this video, we got the Chicago Electric double bevel sliding compound miter saw, and I will be showing you how to install the blade, and then we'll actually do a couple of cuts and we'll give you the first impressions of it. So stick around. All right, here we have the Chicago Electric miter saw. It's got a really long name, so I'm just going to call it miter saw or chop saw. But we're going to go ahead and install this Admiral construction blade and pick it up at Harbor Freight as well. We'll have the links to both of these items, both the saw and the blade, down in the description, so you can check it out yourself. But the first thing I noticed, the last saw that I used, actually the last two saws, was the skill saw or circular saw. Neither of them had this little spindle lock. This locks the spindle here in place so you can remove or install the blade without having to jam something into the blade itself, into the teeth. So we'll go ahead and get this sucker put on there. Alright, so I got the 12-inch saw blade here. I would imagine you got to make sure the arbor size is correct. This one's 1 inch. And it says it's a reverse thread. Now it comes with an Allen key, which I'm going to try to figure out a way to just keep this on the power cord or something. And it's a reverse thread. So you turn it clockwise to loosen it. Now if you already have a blade on here and you're just changing a blade, be sure you hold the lock button back here. It looks like you got a spacer here and here. Then you have this that go on the top. It actually has simple instructions here and just how it goes, the direction of the blade. So I'm holding this up with the thumb. I got my finger on the spindle lock. I'll go ahead and get this on here. It might be a good idea for you to go ahead and have gloves on, because the blade is pretty sharp. I'll just grab the camera here. So as you can see, that piece there is not exactly round. It has flat sides. Orientation of the camera, the top and bottom are flat. And then where it sits, it's got flat sides as well. You can't really see that one, but this one right here you can. It needs to be set just perfectly in order to go on there correctly. There we go. I even zoomed in a little bit. Maybe you'll see a little bit better. But I get this piece on the washer there. This needs to be lined up with that. And then take the screw or the bolt and you go ahead and tighten it down. It lost its little spot where it needs to be, so I have to reline it up. There we go. Hopefully it'll stay. There. And now, as you tighten it, it'll get to a point where you're turning the whole blade. That's when you come to this side on the back, press in the spindle lock, press it with my finger, hold the guard up with my thumb, and there we go. It locked into place. And you tighten it down. Yep. And there we go. Then you can take your finger off the lock, make sure it moves. You have yourself an assembled miter saw. Let's go ahead and grab some wood. I got a project I'm working on, so I'm going to need to cut wood anyways. So we'll go ahead and grab some wood, see how well this thing does. Alright, I did some test cuts, and I can't measure every single angle that it has listed here or here, but I got my square, and so I can do 90 degrees, 45, so I'm going to go ahead and check those out. So first one to be 45. I don't know if you can see that, it's actually kind of far off there. That one looks good. That one looks really good. And 90 is a little bit off. Yeah, now this 90 here is just straight up and down like that. So I'm going to do an adjustment there. And what was it, this guy? Yeah, it's this guy. I don't know if you can see that well, but there's a gap in here. It's touching out here. So it's a little bit less than 45. Let's see what I can do there. We'll go ahead and do some adjustments here. So spinning the table this way and this way, that 45 degree measurements are pretty spot on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab the camera. So the first measurement I'm going to adjust is the bevel going this way. And you do that by adjusting this bolt here. Back it up just a little bit. Yeah, this bolt here. And I can even see from this little pointer that that's not exactly where it's supposed to be. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and take my square, set it up like that. I'm just going to check the blade as well as I can. Yeah, it's definitely tilted that way, just a hair. So using that, just a simple crescent wrench, just loosen this top nut here, and then I'm going to bring this pointer right down to the 0, see what happens here. A little bit more. Okay. So I brought this nut or bolt down back so it's touching that again. Check this one more time. And now it's too far. So go ahead and, sorry, my arm is in the way. Actually, what I'll do is I'll set this up so this is nice and plumb. Okay, right there. And take and get that sucker right down onto there. There we go. That looks really good. And then once you get your adjustment correct, you take that nut, tighten it down. Take it to the side, back up, and yep, we're good. So now, make sure it's nice and loose. I'm going to take this down to the 45-degree mark there. Tighten that back up. Just take it up just slightly. It's actually pretty perfect. So now, to adjust this little pointer here, they had to slot it just slightly. So, take a Phillips screwdriver, loosen it up. Hey, get off me. And you can move the pointer back and forth, line it up just right where you need it. Back down, and now you have a perfect 45-degree angle here, and then with this tightened down, you have a perfect 90. The only thing that I am not sure I like about this thing is you have this laser here. Now it does point to the wood, seems like it's pretty accurate, but it only comes on when you actually pull the trigger. When you actually squeeze the handle here, this part, it's the only time it actually comes on. Personal preference, I would want it turned on when one of these gets pushed in, so that way you can see where it's going to go before the blade starts spinning. It's about the only issue I have. And I would imagine there's probably quite a few companies out there where you have to do your adjustments here and here to make sure that this is all lined up how you need it. So I don't have any complaints about that. It's all set up now. So it's just that. It's the only issue. Alright, so if you like this video and would like to see more, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button, get the subscribe button down below, and be sure you hit that notifications bell. And until next time, keep kicking up dust.